Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Middle Age Mavericks. This week has been quite a busy week. First off, while I was at work over the weekend, Gume did some work on the house.
Good afternoon. By request of my wife, I was supposed to do a videotape of how things are going here in the house and what I'm about to do. I'm going to do a couple of things. The first one is I'm going to go ahead and cover all the gaps on the subfloor. The subflooring panels come together. There's always a gap in there, but in some cases, you're gonna need more than just covering them because they literally don't come together. And I'm gonna show you one right here. Hopefully you're able to see it. And it's this one right here. You can see all the way through. You see light. It just goes on to the other side. So I'll be using two types of material, two types of products. The first one being liquid nails, which is the recommended one for those type of gaps, which are bigger than a quarter. This one right here, it's a liquid nail, and it's heavy duty and is the recommended one for this type of issues where you have those gaps and you see through your floor, especially if your floor is built on pier and beams. It's called plastic wood putty from DAP, and all I'm doing is applying it that way. And the only reason why I did it that way all the way through, it's not, there's no gap through on the ground because there's a joist that goes right through here, so there's no need to do all of it all the way. And just like right here, I don't need to. But this area right here, I like to kind of fix it up to where it's going to be nice and smooth all the way through. So when we start doing our floor, we start putting the material we're going to be using for the floor, our actual floor, it has a nice smooth level surface.
A couple days after that, I had a day off. And as a nurse, I get some days off during the week, which is kind of nice for running errands. I went to a different Costco to see what was available. Good morning. It's another day off for me as a nurse. I went for a run this morning, and then now I'm going to go run a few errands. San Antonio has, I think, 4 Costco's, and so I'm going to go to a different one than I usually go to just to see what else is available, because I know different Costco's carry different things. Started this video with a plan to talk about how good this coffee place is that I come to. It's called Spot On Coffee. I get this coffee called Dirty Chai. But they packed it so much of ice that I can't get the straw on. Literally, like, so while the coffee may be tasty, I have a feeling they put way too much ice in this coffee, and I can't even drink it because I can't get the straw on. I get the straw in, and it's still super delicious coffee. It's espresso with chai, and you get it with oat milk, and it is so tasty. Later that evening, my son, who is applying for the Air Force Academy, had his first interview regarding that application. We were told that the parents were going to be interviewed as well, but that is not exactly how it went. Well, now I am heading for the parent interview for my son's application for the Air Force Academy. And while I'm not going to record the actual interview, I will let you know what kind of questions they ask and how it goes. So, wish me luck. Alright, well, the interview wasn't much of an interview. It was more of an information session. So, what happens is that this first meeting was an information session so that he tells them what to expect, how to do your application, who to ask if you have questions, what the process is like, what your scores need to be, you know, how to stand out, because they only accept 1,200 kids, and apparently 12,000 to 14,000 apply every year. And so if you're only, that's 10% that's accepted, so you really have to stand out. And he was saying that everybody is fantastic. You know, everybody that applies is outstanding. So how do you make yourself be more outstanding? So I found that interesting. And so he actually has only a couple months to finish his application and get that in. He has to get a congressional recommendation. So that is something he has to work on getting, because we don't know any congressmen or congresswomen. So that's one thing he has to do, and then just the rest of the information, and really what the Air Force Academy is looking for is, this is what he's told us, is that they're looking for the next leader of the Air Force. And so you have to stand out as a leader. So that's one thing. Even though my son does a lot of leadership activities, he will have to demonstrate in his application on how he leads and what kind of leader he is. So it was a really interesting session for us. And for him, I'm sure he learned a lot, and I know I learned a lot, but he has a couple of really busy months coming up to get all his application in and get that taken care of. I went back to work after my day off, and the second day back at work, I had a little bit of an emergency. So, I got a surprise today. Went to work, ate my breakfast, which was usual. I usually have 3 eggs, hard-boiled eggs for breakfast. And then I got a sudden pain in my stomach. And the pain went from my stomach to my back. It never went away. And it just got worse. So I had to go to the emergency room. Turns out my gallbladder needed to be taken out. So I am post-surgery. I had my gallbladder removed. And supposedly I can go home today or in the morning, depending on how I feel. And that's it. Took out my gallbladder. It was inflamed, and the doctor told me it was getting infected because of gallstones. So it just a sudden thing. It just happened out of the blue. So a little hiccup for this week. So my first meal post-surgery looks pretty good. Looks like I got some kind of, I don't know, meatloaf, rice, salad, some fruit, tea. They even give you a whole list of little condiments here. So we'll see how it goes. Did you survive the surgery?
I did.
Barely.
Barely.
Or is it stressful?
It was more stressful for me, I think.
Yeah. But I told you it'd be okay, right?
Yeah.
So I got up and walked a little bit, feeling better. I'm gonna try to eat my salad. And it actually looks really nice. I ate one tomato out of it already, but it looks really nice. That's perfect.
Go.
It is breaded. It's all right. And apparently I bit my lip. And operating room. So I have a little sore on my lip. Other than that, I think I'm gonna make a full recovery, hopefully. Finally, I came home. Been home for a couple of days, and I'm recovering pretty well. I feel pretty good. And I went for my first walk. It was a slow couple-mile walk, but it really helps after surgery to get up and move. There are so many things that your body undergoes from anesthesia and from the surgery that it's quite beneficial to get up and move around. And that brings us to today. We're going to continue to work on the house, work on the floor on the inside. We have some sealing to do, sealing, not sealing, some sealing to do on the floor so that there are no gaps or holes where anything can come up through the ground. We're going to have an estimate on a plumber. We haven't quite decided if we're going to do the plumbing ourselves or if we're going to hire somebody to do the plumbing. Right now, we've utilized much of our savings to build the exterior and the frame of the house, so we're kind of limited on those funds. So we're going to try to find the best option for us. And lastly, as you saw in the last video, we have had some issues with trees, and there are 2 trees right by our house that are dying, if not dead. Very close, very tall trees that we're going to have somebody come and chop down next week. So you'll be able to see that in the next video. I thank you for watching this video. I thank you for following us on our journeys. And I hope that if you do like these videos, that you will subscribe to the channel and like the videos and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching.